The topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
Welcome to my radio and TV show, Debi Changes Lives. I'm Debi, your certified holistic health coach. I revitalize people's lives by helping them identify the root causes of their health and mindset issues and create a custom natural holistic strategy to address them in the areas of mind, body, and soul. As a health coach, I'm not allowed to say that I heal, treat, cure, prevent, or diagnose any diseases. I can certainly make your body more efficient by reducing symptoms. You'll feel better, be more productive, and enjoy life more. Not many people have released 70 pounds, had a health and mindset transformation, and kept fit and trim for over a decade. I have, and I have staying power. It's been over 11 years. I even became a half marathon runner at the age of 51 when I never ran from childhood to adulthood due to foot pain. And I have done 8 half marathons so far. Mindset is the key to lasting change. As a holistic certified health coach, I do revitalize people's lives in many different areas of health and mindset. I guide them to clean, toxic-free foods and high-quality essential nutrients. My coaching is for optimizing health, releasing weight efficiently when needed, and enhancing their mindset. With my clients, I help them recognize that their thoughts, feelings, and emotions drive their actions and results. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. That's why it's crucial to have a positive mindset in life. And it's imperative to manage those emotions and release those low vibrational emotions such as fear, frustration, and doubt, because all they're going to do is get you stuck physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And like a hot air balloon that has balances, I help my clients release those emotional balances so they can uplift to a better, happier, healthier life. And in turn, they are releasing their stress, getting healthier, and reshaping their core beliefs. You'll see and feel the differences with my coaching programs. Ask me about them. Set up a complimentary consultation at Debi Changes Lives, DebiChangesLives as in victory, es.com/linktree, LINKTREE. And I'll guide you to that better, happier, healthier life with custom national solutions unique to you in the areas of mind, body, and soul. Don't you want a thriving business? I certainly would. It'll make life so much less stressful. And today I am honored to have Dr. Daphnie Swift, a mediator, an arbitrator, and CEO of Haute Boss Business Academy, where she helps people make their business thrive. I met Dr. Daphnie Swift at an Empower Women event. We're both published authors. My book is Women Rising and Empower Women to See Volume 3. Her book is Women Rising 2, Empowering Women to See Volume 4. And we both have copies for sale for $20 each. Just email us to purchase the books. Now, Dr. Daphnie Swift has been in business and leadership roles for almost 2 decades. She has an extensive educational background in various fields and is a serial entrepreneur with many companies, as well as a Supreme Court Rule 31 mediator, arbitrator, and contract specialist. Of course, we'll be talking about her academy, Haute Boss Business Academy. So we'll be discussing shattering ceilings for startups, government contract, and business exits. So let's welcome Dr. Daphnie Swift, a mediator, arbitrator, and CEO of Haute Boss Business Academy, LLC. Dr. Daphne, welcome to my show.
Hello. Thank you for having me on the show, Debbie. I'm so excited to be here. I can't wait to get into the dialogue today.
Well, I'm honored that you were able to make it. So that's fantastic. So let's talk about helping people make their business thrive, right? So how can women break barriers in leadership roles and business roles?
Okay, awesome. I'm glad that you asked. So I have been in business for almost 2 decades on my own in leadership capacity, various roles. And for me, being a woman, and I'm sure you can relate as well, sometimes we encounter different barriers in the business industry that sometimes our male counterparts don't. And I think that one of the main things, and that's what I love about what your program offers, changes lives, is that mindset definitely matters.
Yes,
And
it does.
a leader and being a woman in leadership, you definitely have to have a positive mindset, because oftentimes people will try to undermine you because you are a woman. And then if you're a younger woman coming to the table, they especially think that sometimes you do not have the knowledge or the expertise to fill those roles. And so I try to always tell people to keep a positive mindset, know your task, know your job description extremely well when you go into these roles, because you will be challenged. You will face barriers that sometimes other people do not. And you want to be very thorough. You want to know your job description, be confident as a leader, prepare, don't procrastinate on tasks. If there's meetings, arrive early, make sure you're prepared. If you are doing trainings, make sure you're paying attention, pull out those key factors in the trainings so that you stand out. And don't be afraid of the word no. Don't be afraid of people not cooperating. You have to have what they call tough skin sometimes to be in leadership roles, because people will not always agree with your decisions, but you have to make those decisions and you have to do what's in the best interest of your company or your organization as the leader. And so I think that's important, being a leader, and especially being a woman, bringing that extra fluff behind the leadership skills that you have to go the extra mile sometimes.
Yeah, and you know what? Even men have issues. I mean, when it comes to a positive mindset, worthiness is important for everybody. And men have a tendency to, feel different when they're working with women or other people. And they have a chip on their shoulder. So remember, everyone is at the same level as you. Everyone has certain issues. And you just need to rise above it and accept, oh, he's having some issues right now, or she's having some issues right now. And hey, what I have matters. So, and having that confidence and strong worthiness for yourself, it's going to get you through, being in a business, no matter where you're going to go. Don't you agree?
I do agree with that. Everyone has good days, bad days, whether you're in leadership or whether you're an employee, everyone has good days, bad days. And some people do not know how to compartmentalize their personal lives from their work lives. Exactly. And so a lot of times they intertwine. And so you may show up at work today and you may have just had an argument with your husband, or you may be dropping your child off at school and they're, upset about something that happened at school and you're trying to encourage them. And so it's so many different life factors, or someone may have just cut you off or ran you off the road as you're getting ready to pull into the parking garage at work. And so you're frustrated about that. So you go into work, you're frustrated about other things, and it carries over into your job. So one of the things that I learned years ago, because I did investigations for many years, for about 12 and a half years, I worked in investigations, which was a very stressful field. Each day was different. You never knew what you were going to get. And so one of the things that that helped me to get through my days in the mornings before I would go into work, regardless of what was going on, I would sit in my car for at least 10 to 15 minutes and just decompress before I went into the office, so that whatever I had going on personally, or if I was frustrated about traffic, whatever, that was the time to vent, do deep breathing exercises, or whatever I needed to do, listen to music, whatever I needed to do to prepare me for my day, because whatever I had going on wasn't going to go through the door with me. Same thing in the evening when I would get off work. When I would get to my house, I would pull in my driveway. Sometimes I would sit in the driveway before I would pull into the garage for about 20, 30 minutes and just allow my day to melt away before I went into the house with my family, because whatever happened at work that day was not my family's fault. And I didn't want to take my day into my household. So those were some things that helped me just clear my mind and just kind of decompress and compartmentalize before I moved on to the next step. And so I think sometimes people, have to find what works for them, whether it's taking a walk, whether it's, meditating or doing deep breathing exercises, or, talking with someone on the phone or listening to music or whatever. But I think those strategies help. And it also helps with reducing stress. And that's important in leadership.
Yes, it is. And I know I personally like highlighting the best of the day and concentrating on that, because you can't control how other people will react throughout the day. So now, what does it take for women to thrive in a male-dominated industries?
Oh, now that one, I love that question. I get asked that a lot because one of my businesses is a male-dominant industry. And so it takes a lot of confidence. It takes a lot of courage, and you have to be willing to stand on what you believe and not be shy and intimidated. Oftentimes, I'll go into meetings, more so recently in the last few years, women population has increased, but initially, sometimes I would go into meetings and I would be the only woman there. And when I would walk in, they would say, "Oh, your husband must have sent you to the meeting." And I was sometimes initially I was offended, because I was like, why would they automatically assume that my husband sent me here, or that I'm even married? They had all these assumptions, and all I did was walked in and signed in. And so I made it a point from that very first meeting that I was going to walk in with my head held high, and I was going to be very confident. I was going to know all of the information, because they automatically assumed that I didn't know anything about construction. I didn't know anything about contracts or lawn service, landscaping, any of those industries, because they were male-dominated industries. When actuality, I grew up in the country. I'm a country girl. So I grew up on about 60 acres. So we had all types of heavy equipment. We had horses, and my grandparents had a farm. So I was around all of that growing up. I didn't like bugs, but I knew all about the equipment. And then I was the only girl with 3 brothers. So so those were the assumptions that, because I came in a dress and heels, that I didn't know anything. So I think just being confident when you go in has helped me. And I think women, like I said, you can't be intimidated because they will test you. They will ask questions to see if you know. You know, I remember once being in a meeting and the guy said, well, what piece of equipment would you use to complete the job? Would you use a bulldozer or would you use a backhoe? And I thought that was the craziest question because it was leveling ground. And I was thinking, why would he think a backhoe? So it made me wonder if he knew what he was doing. So I asked the question. I was bold enough to ask the question. I said, are you sure that you know what the project consists of? Because why would you even mention a backhoe if we're leveling the ground? Of course you would use, you know, a bulldozer to level the ground. So unless you're digging dirt to move it somewhere else, but your question was specifically for grading and smoothing, you use the bucket, you know, on the bulldozer. So it was just very interesting, oftentimes interesting. So women, you have to be confident. You have to know the information. Don't be afraid to ask questions if you don't understand something. And don't be intimidated by the presence of men, even if you are the only one, or if it's just a few of you guys in the room. And if it is just a few of you, become allies quickly. And, you know, so that is what I would say. Like, you just have to be confident. Don't be intimidated and know the task, know what you're doing, the job skills, know what the ask is for the contract that you're going to be working on. You need to know the requirements of it.
And there's a story behind why you started that business, because someone got injured, a child.
Yes.
And it has bloomed since then. So, but it's, you know, and it's interesting because you're on the farm and everything, it gave you the right background for it. So that's fascinating. But you've been in the law when you said a little girl got hurt by a lot.
Yeah.
So it was interesting how that business started.
Yeah, it all started. It was just, it all started when I was doing investigations. A child did get injured. We did that investigation. And from there, I wanted to know, you know, I wanted to be part of the solution and hope that I could help with that not happening again to another child. And so that's where that business started over a decade ago. And I got into government contracting then and just kept growing and growing and moved into different industries and different states and just grew it from there.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Thank you.
So how do you help people to successfully start and scale their businesses for long-term growth?
So what we do is when the individual wants to scale their business, they will schedule a consultation with me. We will sit down and do a deep dive into their business so that I can get a full picture of where they currently are in their business, what their financials look like, employees, employee retention rates, what industry they're in. We'll look at the industry growth rates and see what area specific the industry is growing in, because sometimes one industry may have 5 or 6 different categories, you know, like business. The business industry has a plethora of different categories that, you know, you can have health, you can have coaching, you can do the landscape and floristry. It's so many different, you know, avenues that you can be in business under. So we do a deep dive into the business so we can get a full understanding of what the business consists of, what they offer, and where they're wanting to scale to. Are they wanting to scale locally? Are they wanting to bring in more revenue? Are they wanting to grow into other cities, other states? So we do a full deep dive into the business to see what the business owners want to do. And then we develop an action plan to help grow and scale their business from there. That's typically how that works, because each business is different and everyone is going to be different. So what you may want may not be what I need for my business, and what I need may not be what you need for your business, because we're in different industries. So there's not necessarily a cookie cutter plan. Everyone is individualized, and that's how I like to treat my clients. I like to be very personal with them, and individualize their plan of action so that we know that we're targeting the best things to get them where they want to be.
I guess being in the legal field, that probably, exposed you to different type of businesses as well and gave you some more knowledge, I assume.
It has. I have a lot of experience from working in the legal industry, in the business industry, and then coming from a corporate background as well. So I like to think I'm kind of well-rounded, that I've had exposure to a lot of things. I've lived in a few different places, so I've had the opportunity to see, and interact with different levels of people. I lived in a very small town. Population was probably about 2,500 people. So everyone knew everyone.
Wow.
Yeah, it was very small, but it was awesome. I wouldn't trade my childhood experience for anything. Everyone was always very nice to each other, very helpful. And I'm still friends with everyone that I grew up with. And so, yeah, we value friendships and relationships in the community where I grew up at. And so that was very important. And that helped form where I went from when I left home to go to college. It was always about forming relationships, treating people with respect, and treating everyone equal. My parents drilled that into, all of us, that you treat everyone equal. You respect those that respect you.
Yeah, that's so important.
It is.
And not judging people as well. I mean, it's everyone is a human being.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everyone should be respected. So I love that. Now, this obviously I'm very interested in, but how can you teach entrepreneurial to win and leverage government contracts?
Okay, so that's my favorite area. I love government contracts. So government contracts has been life-changing for me. I got into the government sector over a decade ago, almost 20 years ago, almost 2 decades. So I started looking at government contracts when I entered into the industry based on the case that I had. But then I saw the opportunity where I could grow. And when I got my first contract, I saw that, hey, this contract is just about what I make in a year. So if I put all of my energy into understanding government contracting, how it works, and all that comes with it, I can really get into this industry and blossom. So that's what I did. At that time, I had my master's, and so I was kind of deciding what I wanted to do with my master's and kind of go, figure out what I wanted to do with it. And so that was perfect. So I started researching. With government contracts, I will say it takes patience. People will have to exercise patience, and you can't be afraid of the word no, because you're going to hear no sometimes, because it's a bidding process. And that's what some people don't understand, that just because you bid on it doesn't mean you're going to win it, because you may be bidding against 50 other people as well. So you have to know the process of government contract. So initially getting into government contracts, you want to see what industry you want to go into, because there's different NAICS codes that go with different industries. So you have to figure out where you want to go, what you want to do, and your business structure, because there's different types of business structures. And each entity of government has different requirements. So there's local government, there's state government, there's federal government, and then there's international government. So I always advise people to start at the lowest level of government and work your way up, because they're going to want to know what type of experience you had. I mean, you can always register as a vendor on the federal level, but if they ask, well, how many years of experience do you have in government contracting? And you put 0 and someone else has 10 years, then more than likely they're going to go with the person that has 10 years because they feel like they're more reliable, they're more experienced than someone that doesn't have any experience, because government contracts is nothing like any other industry. You're supplying a lot because they buy in bulk. So it's not like, for example, with my lawn service business, we're not doing 5 residential lots. Like we have about anywhere from 200 to 350 lots that we do in a week.
Wow.
So it's not, like 15, 20 residential lots that you do and you're like, okay, that's my work for the week. The government buys in bulk, and that may be repetition each week. And one of those lots may be 5 acres, one may be 1 acre, one may be 10. You just never know what you may encounter. So you have to be prepared for that. The requirements of government are totally different than being a solo entrepreneur, sole proprietor, or dealing with residential clients, or, business to business. So business to government is what we like to call B2G, is totally different than any other capacity of business. And you have to be prepared. So I would advise anyone that's interested in getting in government contracting, know that you're going to have to be able to provide that volume. If you're providing supplies, they're going to want maybe 10,000 of legal pads and 10,000 ink pens. So it's not like you're going to Walmart and just grabbing, a buggy and saying, oh, I'm going to buy office supplies. Let me get a couple of packs of ink pens, a couple of packs of copy paper. Everything is in bulk. And you have to have the operating capacity, the capital to sustain, because most of their contracts are going to say net 30, meaning you'll get paid in 30 days. However, it's the government. They're super busy. They're processing a lot of invoices and a lot of payments. So that 30 may turn into 45 or 60. Are you able to maintain during that time? So I think, there's pros and there's cons. So I would advise anyone that's interested, evaluate your own situation, your personal situation, and see, is that something you're able to do? And you may have to grow to that. You may have to still work your current job and slowly move into government contracting. Or if you have good credit, you may want to get a line of credit or do a loan or something like that to help sustain through those periods. We call them drought periods.
Okay.
Yes. And so insurance requirements, that's going to be huge with government contracting, because you have to have liability insurance. Most of the time they want at least $1 million policy of general liability. Another requirement is an umbrella policy of at least $2 million, workers' comp, and commercial auto insurance. So those are pricey. And people have to know those are requirements. It's not optional. Those are mandatory requirements to do business in government contracting and corporate contracting as well. So those are some of the things that going into it that you're going to have on the front end. You're going to have to make sure your business license are current. You're going to have to make sure your taxes are current. it's a lot of paperwork.
Okay.
And so patience is key because you may look at a packet and the packet may be 67 pages. It may be 100 pages. So these are my best friends.
Highlighters.
I keep many of them on my desk at all times, and each color has significance. So it helps me stay on track. So those are your best friends in contracting because you want to be thorough. It's a lot of wording and verbiage. And if you're not familiar with it, it can be confusing. It can be frustrating. Also, be willing to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions if you don't understand. Because again, you're talking about government. Not going over to Sally's house and saying, hey, Sally, I can come clean your house for $200 a week. And she's like, okay, fine. You're talking about cleaning the government city hall building. So it's totally different. Some government contracts require that you pass background checks. You have valid driver's license. So again, it's a lot of in-depth steps, and it can be accomplished. Just have patience along the way. It's not going to be a quick turnaround. Most of the time they tell you anywhere from 45 to 90 days to get approvals and things like that. You do have to get registered to be a vendor with each entity that you want to do business with. So if you want to do business on the local level, the state level, the federal level, everybody has their own registration process. And sometimes each department is not the same. So some departments may require other things that this department doesn't require, even though it's with the same government. So change, be willing to, go with changes. Change is inevitable because it's going to happen. It happens with different administrations as well. And we've seen a lot of change this year with our current administration. When it comes to government contracting. So you have to be willing to adjust, keep up with all the latest updates, and know how to pivot quickly. Be willing to adjust to what your business needs, just like we did with COVID. So those are the main takeaways with government contracts. You have to be persistent. You cannot be intimidated. You have to have patience. Can't be afraid of the word no, and get you lots of highlighters because it's a lot of paperwork. It is a lot of paperwork. Make sure you're reading. And if you have questions, it's always going to be a contact listed on that paperwork to call. Reach out to them, call them, email them, and keep a paper trail that you call this person on this date and this time. So that if you're not getting responses and you need to move up the chain of command, you have your documentation.
Okay. Now, I'm sure when you're trying to secure lucrative corporate contracts, it's not as complicated as government. And I know every state would be different, with government contracts. Yes. But when you, what are your key ways of doing that for corporate contracts?
Corporate contracts. So with corporate contracts, again, you have to register with each entity that you want to do business with, and each state is different. You're correct. Some states have similar requirements, but each state is different. Each entity is different. For example, if I'm going to do business with a university, because we've had contracts with universities, their requirements are different because they have students on campus. And you have to go through diversity training on some of those because you're going to encounter a lot of different people from different countries, different backgrounds, ethnic backgrounds, religious backgrounds. So depending on, what you're doing on campus, they require different trainings. Whereas if you're going into, let's say, a hospital, that training is going to be totally different because you're dealing with confidential HIPAA protected information.
Exactly.
So each one is different, if that makes sense. It's totally different. And you have to register your paperwork with the university, with the hospital. You have to become a vendor with each entity that you want to do business with. So each one, is totally different. It's not cookie cut. Some of the basics, like the business license, the insurance, becoming a vendor or a supplier, those are the basics, but some of the steps are totally different.
Oh, okay. That makes
sometimes it can be more complicated to become a corporate vendor than it is to get in as a government vendor. I've experienced that in some states as well.
Okay. Now, when you get your business, up, leveling up, so to speak, and doing really well, or you're retiring, whether you want to, start another business and you want to do a business exit, or if you want to retire and do a business exit, I guess you do that too, don't you?
Yes. So oftentimes people will reach that peak and they'll say, well, I feel like I've, done everything I wanted to do with this business and I want to change industries. Sometimes we'll start talking about mergers and acquisitions. Some people want to just completely sell their company and be finished with it, take their profits and go enjoy retirement, go on a beach, sip pina coladas and all those things, and just relax and enjoy life. And then you have others that are not at retirement age, but they're tired of what they're doing and they want to do something different. So we sit down, same process, and kind of gauge each business to see what's going to be the best fit for them and how they're going to maximize their profits, because everyone wants to get paid for what they've accomplished and what they've built. So we'll look to see if selling their company is the best for them. And then oftentimes we have lists of people that want to either merge a smaller company with another company. And some people want to keep ownership of the company, but they don't want to be responsible for the day-to-day activities. So we talk about mergers, where they kind of just go in the back and just get income from the company, but are not responsible for the day-to-day activities. And then again, you have those that want to just completely sell. So you have people that are looking to buy successful companies and just completely buy them out. So it just depends on, what that individual wants to do, where they feel they are in their journey, and maximizing profits for their business on how we customize that plan.
Yeah, that's really important. But, I think I may want to just be in the background and have everyone do something.
Yes, we do get a lot of those.
But you know what? What I do, I can't be. So I'm always hands-on. But anyways, let's, we may have some time more at the end, but let's talk about your offer today for my audience.
Awesome. So today I am offering $100 off the courses that I offer with my Haute Boss Business Academy. And that's where we teach you how to start a business, grow your business, exit your business, become a vendor in corporate and government contracts. They still offer certifications, but right now they're up in the air with some of the different policies and procedures when it comes to the certifications and what they're used for. So those are the things that we offer with the Business Academy. And if you register and you're watching this amazing show with Debbie, the code is going to be Debi, DEBI. You get $100 off of our course, any course that you choose to register for. And we have a variety of courses that we offer. So that code is Debi, DEBI. You get $100 off registration. And our website is www.hautebossbusinessacademy.com. And that is www.HAUTEBOSSBUSINESSACADEMY.com. 𝗕𝗂𝗵𝗂.com. That is where you can find everything about Haute Boss Business Academy. There is some information on there about myself. Also, you can find me on Google, where I've written several articles about entrepreneurship and corporate and government contracts and the importance of small businesses being the foundation of society, because we thrive on small businesses and the success of small businesses. So it's important to continue to support small businesses. And if you're looking to become a business owner or scale your business or exit your business, give me a call and I can definitely help you do that. My office phone number is 901-237-7579.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's a wonderful offer. And I am definitely taking advantage of it because I've been asking you for a while. So anyway, now, would you like to be a guest again?
Of course, I would love to be a guest again. I think everything that you're doing is completely amazing. And I know our schedules have both been so busy, but I'm so excited. I love every time you talk about your program and changing lives. And I think more people need to really tap into what you offer because it can be life-changing. And with so many health concerns on the rise and health conditions on the rise in society now, I think people need to really look at what you offer and those holistic approaches and more natural food bases, because there's so many toxins in the food that we eat.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Yeah. So I think it's amazing, and I'm looking forward to getting more involved with the things that you offer myself. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. So thank you. Now, please stick around because we're going to have a minute or so for closing remarks, okay? And maybe more.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Now, remember, I do revitalize people's lives in many different areas of health and mindset. And I do start with your gut and mindset. And I do offer solutions for brain and heart, blood sugar, hormones, for athletes as well, immunity, and bone and joints. You name it, I can help you with that. And what I do is I guide you to clean, toxic-free foods and high-quality nutrient supplements that will help bring down your symptoms. You'll feel better, maybe even release weight if that's what you need. And also it will uplift your mood. With my mindset coaching, I help you release stress, emotions, and emotional entanglements, as well as guide you in shaping a new core belief to make you more successful. That's enhancing your mindset. And then with my health and weight release, your body is becoming more efficient. So that's the mind-body solution that makes your heart and soul sing. So ask me about my programs. Set up a complimentary consultation at Debi Changes Lives, DEBICHANGESLIV as in victory, ES.com/Linktree, LINKTREE. And there you get to know me, I get to know you, and I'll guide you to optimal health. And it begins with 1 or 2 health assessments. The health evaluation is actually complimentary, where you rate your symptoms the last 30 days in 4 categories of health. Some questions overlap to different categories. Answer them all. It creates a baseline score, and I will review it with you. I also will create that custom natural holistic strategy when you move forward with me, and we'll monitor this on a monthly basis. I also have 2 Zyto body scans, and I prefer to do the Zyto's Visera link because I can send it off remotely, internationally, and I actually send it to Australia and South Africa. The Visera link is a transdermal optical imaging app that I send a link to your phone. You scan your face, it's going through your skin to look at blood flow only for energetic, functional, emotional, and different body systems and lifestyles. And I love that emotional component because it is a hidden gem. It creates a wellness report of biomarkers out of range and products and services that bring back into range. And I review it with you because it's quite intensive. The cost of the scan is $75. And when you move forward with either a product or a program, I'll give you a $25 discount. And Visera link is a transdermal optical imaging app, also known as TOI. And it's quite accurate. And you can look that up at pubmed.gov. That's PUBMED.gov for its accuracy. I also have a family pack where you can save $50 on a set of 5 scans. Now, people are really amazed what their body tells them through the scan, and you'll be too. Curious? Either ask me questions at my consultation or just get it done and see what they're talking about. And on the side are my programs. Take Your Body Back is a 12-week weight release mindset coaching program where you can utilize a new version of you for success. All coaching is done on Zoom. And the first one is private to you. I am a certified HIPAA compliant practitioner, and health analysis are private. I give you a choice between 2 meal plans and a choice of directions on one, and a directions on how to create that new version of you and an avatar board that will drive you with emotion and passion to achieve your health and weight transformative goals throughout your journey. The rest of the coaching is the same, whether it's private or group. We'll be celebrating your wins. I'll be helping you guide you through with your boards. And also, I'll get you over your gaps with health and mindset tips. You will become a new you. You can always ask me questions at the consultation or watch a previous episode called Holistic Self-Love on the show button of my link tree. Now, Why Fast is an intermittent fasting program that gets your cells and body humming and in turn boosts your metabolism with rich, dense nutrition, high-quality essential nutrients. At the consultation, you can ask me questions. And just remember, intermittent fasting repairs cells, reduces inflammation, and gives you mental clarity. Now, if you think you need some coaching, there is a 2 or 4 week program to get you started. And it's up to you if you want to pay for more coaching after that. With my mindset enhancement and health optimization, you could use these smaller programs, but truly those are longer term journeys, and the bigger program would be more economical. And I can also create a custom program for you as well. For the limited time, I offer a Debbie's coaching test, which is a complimentary 30-minute coaching session in a group setting. A survey picks a topic and it's not recorded. And there's many topics here that you can look on the slide: optimizing health, harmonizing hormones, releasing weight efficiently, creating a winning mindset for health and weight transformations, and also creating a new version of you and an avatar board that will drive you with passion and emotion to achieve your health and weight transformational journey goals throughout the time. These meetings are 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, and you need to be registered for it at Debi Changes Lives. That's DEBICHANGES as in victory ES.com/chats. And you get to know what my coaching is about. Finally, learn more about alternative health services, programs, and offers. And also register for my newsletter at DebiChangesLives.com, radio, TV show, and all in lowercase. I give you a gift, which is the 30-day health and mindset daily action journal. And with that, you're going to be monitoring your emotions, gratitude, foods and water and supplements and exercise, as well as tracking your measurements and celebrating your celebrations and finding your gaps. And if you need help getting over your gap, contact me for coaching. Now, this is a great health and mindset daily action journal that will get you through that. Now, I said this a little sooner. Contact me regarding my services, products, offers, and book. Contact Dr. Daphne for her offer, services, and book. Do we have some time for her to come back?
Hello, I am back. Yes, thank you so much, Debbie, for having me on the show. I want to say everyone that's interested in getting involved in corporate government contracting, definitely reach out to me, 901-237-7579. You can also find me at Haute Boss Business Academy.com. I would love to work with each of you to help start your business, scale your business, or exit your business if you're ready, and take your life to a different level in contracting.
Yeah, and our books tell us a little bit about our story and other people's books that you can learn from as well. So purchase our books too.
Yes, definitely purchase our books. It's great stories in there about how we got started, why we got started, and where we are now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you for being on my show. Now, Continue to enjoy my radio and TV show, Debbie Changes Lives, on Thursdays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, where your holistic journey begins.